Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along then to round 3 of the 2015 World Sports Series season after the handbags on Monday as the ITC returned to the league. We focus now back on an already running championship, and what a close championship it is as well. We've had 4 different winners, we've had 2 different pole sitters, and today we've got some new broadcast personnel as well. My name's James Kirk, with you as always, and joining me in the broadcast booth alongside me is Mr. Sam Jones, and on camera today, Mr. Ben Hackerson is my Super Cup team, and I hope you guys have learned a little bit of knowledge for today's championship, because we're looking at a pretty interesting up there on provisional poll with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, hello James, hello everyone at home. Yep, you might recognise me from the other Wednesday nights in Super Cup, of course. Unfortunately Lewis can't be here today, so I jumped in and told James I'd help him out. Getting a bit of lag from you, James, so hopefully that's on my end, not your end. But yeah, it's great to be here. Of course, I was around for the end of the World Sports Series last year, and it is good to be back again. And I've heard a lot about this series so far this year, and it certainly has been quite explosive right from round 1. And today we are at my favourite track, Istanbul, and it's always producing some great racing, so we are in for an absolute treat today.
Looking like an absolute treat as well. It's Jordan Weeks. He's been looking strong in that Torrent Motorsport car for a good part of free practice, actually, and indeed qualifying so far. He's just gone up onto provisional pole position with a 1:54.0. Now, talking to Jordan, chip, and he's just doing it for fun. He's just doing it as a favour for Torrent Motorsports. He's looking very, very pacey though. It looks as if he's practiced, and well, Torrent Motorsports have not a WSS race since the outfit won the championship in the inaugural year of 2012. Is this a sign that they're getting back to their best, perhaps?
It could certainly be. That's definitely for sure. They've got the drivers. Jordan Weeks, he's been around for a while now, hasn't he? And he is one of the more consistent drivers that I've seen, and quite a clean driver as well, so it's good to see from him. And of course, Ice Cold are up there as well, as it's no surprise to anyone to see Ice Cold doing good. They seem to do good wherever they go and whatever they're in. But yeah, look at that. What have we got? We've got 33 cars. That's impressive. I like to see that. Good large field here for the Porsches, and yeah. It's looking good. We've got about 50 seconds left to go in qualifying, so still plenty of things could change.
Definitely changing is the connection. I've noticed we have a couple of issues here, and there's flying about all over the place. There's a couple of cars who are struggling to join in. Monroe's connection issues. He's set a lap, and Monroe, who is he has been the mercenary so far this year, driving for Dragon round 1, Dragon round 2, Ice Cold round 1. He's now fully joined THR, multiple altercations, I should say, with the R03, who's also left the championship after the last round. And see who else is on. Parker's left. Fabio Asensal, who is Enterprise GP's new driver, has been having troubles joining as well. Hopefully those guys will be able to join for the race. Matter if you do hear his pole position, and currently Jordan Weeks is still sitting on that 1:54.0. He's actually got a tow from Agustin Canapino on this lap so far. I think I might have to quit out shot. See whether I can't game after this, but he's going to be running now. He's behind Canapino, as I say. Canapino currently sitting 1 point to the back of the grid as well, so in the Canapino speed, he can do good things, but has held up Jordan Weeks a little bit. I think he may have. And yeah, there's no improvement there from Jordan Weeks, unfortunately. I'm definitely going to have to sort it out because my game is lagging like hell. Canapino did improve, actually, though. He's gone into P4. Bruce to 6. Kevin Siggy with 36 kilograms weight ballast is... Oh, am I lagging? Right. We may have to, I may have to send you over to Sam for a bit, unfortunately. But yeah, letting everything settle down. Jordan Weeks on pole. I'm going to sort my connection out. Very impressive from Jordan. Lovely to see how he's doing.
Yep. Sorry for all that, guys at home. I'm sure you're getting exactly the same what I'm getting right now, and it's very difficult to hear what James is saying, but he's going to go sort it out. So hopefully it will all be sorted out, and you'll be able to hear everything that he has to say. So yes, as James was saying, Jordan Weeks is on pole, and he did a 153.974. The only guy to get into the 153s here, and actually managed to get that pole position by 1.5 tenths of a second over Eric Strawn in the ice cold racing car. So between the top two, it certainly is close, because after that there is a bit of a gap of about 2 tenths of a second further back to Markin Lepasar for Drake Racing in third place. I believe we have James back now.
Hopefully, I'm as I say, I'm trying to sort out. I feel this might be actually a laptop issue rather than an action issue, which is worrying. But yeah, it was a great performance there from Jordan. We know he has the speed. He is a proven race winner in World Sports Series, not necessarily in the flat sixes. I think he's been on the podium in flat sixes. He was a winner back in 2013. But great to see Torrent back on top, actually. Great to see Torrent back on top. As I said, they've not really had that much success since 2012. They didn't take part in 2013, came back in 2014, were there or thereabouts, but just couldn't find that edge. And if London can convert this pole position into a race win today, then I think they might be onto something.
Yeah, it's still a very long way to go, though, isn't it? And as we often find out in many of the series in GPVWC, it's certainly not about your one lap pace in qualifying. You've got to be able to hook it all together throughout the race as well, and be able to consistently set those laps, be able to work under pressure, because I think, considering how close Eric Strane was in the ice cold racing car, I don't think Weeks will be able to have it all his own way. Even if he gets a good start, I think he will be under pressure, and he won't just be able to walk away with it. And that's exactly what we want to see as well. We want to see a good battle for the lead, and battles throughout the field as well, because the field was fairly close as well. I can see that the top 13 at least were separated by 7 tenths of a second, which is pretty good, actually. Pretty good considering the length of the track, and it's not the easiest of tracks as well, especially for one lap qualifying.
No, indeed, it's I mean, brakes are a big issue in the flat six cars. We've seen plenty of engine blowouts from braking that has been too aggressive. But would you say that Istanbul's one of those tracks where braking is one of the key elements, because there are so many mid to heavy braking zones, and so many braking zones which expect you to brake late into them as well? Do you think we're going to see quite a few retirements from engine issues here today, or do you reckon that it's just one of those tracks which, yes, it is, but at the same time the track sort of do, in a way, get back on the throttle quickly? Because I mean, you look at the heavy braking zone down at the hairpin in sector 3. It's not exactly the slowest of hairpins. It's, you're carrying speed around there. Heavy braking zone after turn 8, again, you're carrying speed through another fast corner.
There's certainly a track where you have to be able to carry the speed through the corners, but yeah, you are absolutely right about braking as well. You really have to say that turn 1, turn 7, turn 9, and of course, let's not forget turn 12 in that final complex of 3 corners where you spend such a long time on full acceleration, and then you have to really slam on the brakes, get down all the gears for a very slow left-hander, and yeah, you can easily just slightly mistime your braking, and that's it. You've missed the apex of the corner. You're gonna go straight on. Luckily, there's lots of tarmac runoffs because it's a fairly new circuit. It's not that old, so tarmac runoffs everywhere, very forgiving. It just means that you can mess around and push way too hard and lose it in practice. But you don't really want to be doing that in the race because you still get penalised. You still can lose quite a bit of time. I don't know about the engine issues that potentially people could get because I don't know how bad or good the engines are in this series. They're often quite...
Basically, if you downshift too quickly, it blows up.
Wow, so it's
essentially the case, yeah.
It's certainly the opposite to, say, Formula Challenge in ITC then, because you can get away with downshifting very quick in both series. So yeah, wow, you have to be quite committed and quite concentrated throughout, really, because one false move like that, a double downshift, would be just terrible, really, for a driver.
Would you say that this is more a track where the setup or the driver themselves makes more of the impact on the on how they do in the race?
Good question. As a setup is very key because you do have to kind of take a balance because you need straight line speed here. There's no doubt about it, because you will get penalised down the straights. But you could say that about many tracks as well, because a lot of tracks nowadays do have fairly long straights and tight technical corners. So the setups are important. But then I think you also have to have the understanding of the driver, really, to know how far you can push it. And of course, with these Porsches, you can't run the track like you would in an F1 car. You can't run, say, near to flat out through turn 8. You've got to be able to hold on to the car and really take it to its limit. So I'd actually say that the driver is going to be very important here, and perhaps that's why the times are close to begin with, but then do spread out across the entire field quite dramatically.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, this is going to be a far more connection all over the place. While I'm still relatively clear, let's have a little look down the drivers and...
I think we might have lost James there. Fortunately, he's still here, apparently, but I can't hear him right now at all. So James is just about to look down
31. So...
Oh, he's back.
Oh, am I back? Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, James, but unfortunately no one could hear you for about the past 30 seconds.
Wow, okay, this is great. I went through the entire top 10 of the drivers. That's what I was going through. I was highlighting how close it is.
You might need to do that again.
We've got Capit in first on 47, Garner in 10th on 31, and both of them they're separated by 16 points, which is not a lot, really, actually, for a Drives Championship. And now, what the
Yeah, we've got 2 James Kirks, and James Kirk's disappeared again. Yeah, so James was saying that the top 10 is pretty close, and I think that can really be reflected at how kind of competitive it has been this season in WSS, because just looking at the standings, we've had 4 different winners from 4 different races. That is Ross McGregor in race 1 in Spain, followed by Kevin Siggy in race 2. And then when we went to Portugal, Eric Strane got his first win of the season. And that was followed by our current championship leader, Risto Capit, taking his first win in the season. So it's certainly not an easy series to pick up the wins at the moment. There's no one really dominating. And that's great for us and great for you guys at home.
Which is what... Hello back. Hello, guys. If I do disconnect again... I don't know. We'll sort something out. But what I was going to point out is the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship separated by 16 points, which is not a lot when you consider that a third, or if you get a podium, you would jump to the top pretty much instantly. If nobody else scored around you, of course.
Yes, that's probably not going to happen. It would be quite the
Yeah.
crazy race if only one person in the top 10 of the championship scored. But it's possible. It's certainly possible. Looking at quite varied results as well. We've had quite a few DNFs through the field, haven't we? Even by some of the guys in the top 10.
But DSQs as well. If anything, it's a more open championship than last year. And I guess part and parcel of that is Jesper Nielsen. Now, Jesper was famed last year for having ruthless consistency. He didn't win a single race last year, yet still won. And he's only the second GPVWC champion to actually do that, where there's no race wins, still wins the championship. But this year he's just had the worst of luck. He's been involved in incidents. He hasn't looked like he's had the pace either. Where do you go if you're Jesper Nielsen after such a strong year, such a terrible start? Do you find that the lack of motivation really does hamper you a lot, or is it just one of those things where you've just got to really pick yourself up and say, you know, I am champion for a reason. I've just got to find another way of getting those results.
I think that's the case really. He knows that he's good enough to do well in this series. Perhaps not win a race by the looks of it if he didn't win it all last year. But if he had a bit of luck, he would win the race. But yeah, he has had completely the opposite. All the bad luck. His best result is 12th, which he's had twice so far. And that's not the best really. You'd expect him to be in the top 10 and most likely the top 5 for the majority of the races. And he hasn't had the best of qualifying today either. So whether he's not practicing as much as he did, because practice is important, it will help quite a bit. Even the best of drivers still need to practice now and again to get themselves up there and get in a competitive fashion. Otherwise, you do find yourself mired in the midfield and even potentially further back. And that's where all the risks really come into play. And you shouldn't really be surprised if you have a few bad races when you're stuck in the midfield, where there's inevitably going to be contact, especially in a series like this, where contact is not something that's unusual.
No, indeed. So we've got 20 or so seconds left of warm up here. You know what? I don't know what the race length is, so that's going to be a surprise for me as well. But we're going to have a front row of Weeks and Strana. We know Strana is pretty ruthless when it comes to his attacking capability. Weeks is a bit of a wild card, but would you say it's between those two for the win, or do you reckon that perhaps any of the guys behind, like Canapino, could spring a surprise?
It's really hard to say because this league is so competitive. If Weeks was to win here today, he'd be 5th new winner of the year. That's how it's going at the moment. So it could actually be up to anyone, and it will be interesting about the times that everyone can put in. But I'm actually going to go for Strana because I think that he's got what it takes to be the first guy to win 2 races. So I'm going to go with him from his 2nd position in qualifying.
Nice one. I'm just got on my sorry. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say that I think though Weeks is showing very good pace, I think that Strana's just got that champion's edge, because if you are not aware of the International Touring Cup, Strana is, of course, the champion there from last year in 2014. He knows how to win championships. He knows how to win races. He knows how to take pole positions. And ultimately, Weeks, we question how committed he really is, especially after that interview in Portugal. I'm not too sure about it. I think he may just be very naturally good at this track. And if Strana presents too much of a threat, then I feel that he's not going to be too worried about losing that racing. Or maybe he will. Maybe he's thinking, hey, I've gotten here with no practice at all. I could get something for myself here. Either way, best of luck to all drivers as we just await people trying to rejoin. As I say, there's been a lot of server issues, a lot of internet issues, including from my own internet connection, and I'm hoping that all sticks together. I'm looking at Whoopie Hoekstra as well now. Hoekstra is also a race winner in World Sports Series. We have lots of race winners this year, actually, but Hoekstra, he won in Monaco Race 2 in 2013, has been kind of off the pace this year and has gotten caught up in instance. P5 for Racing Team Stroton. That's an amazing result for them. And Marcos Riffel as well. He's brand new here for Turkey. The Brazilian, also driving for Racing Team Stroton. He's looked pretty pacey as well. So Racing Team Stroton, the midfield team, could find themselves in some very good points positions if they're lucky, if they stay out of trouble. We wish everyone the best, of course. So we're just waiting for the grid to be formed. If you want to join us and get involved in the conversation, then make sure to hop onto Twitter and hashtag GPVWC Live or hashtag GPVWC if you don't fancy the live bit. We're going to be answering questions throughout the broadcast, hopefully. And if you've got any questions for the drivers in the post-race 2 interviews, then please feel free to send them along. As Marcos is now disconnected. I think actually, to be fair, Sam, this happened when you commentated on WSS with me last year in Spa. We had loads of people disconnecting as well.
It's something about me, isn't it?
It's a curse, yeah.
And of course, last week at the Super Cup in Portugal, again, quite a few disconnects. And what have I done, James? What have I done? I must have something wrong with my files.
You might do. Hacks? Oh, no, we can't speak of hacks here. We've had 2 cheaters last year. That's not good, is it? Or rather, I should say, 1 cheater and then 1 later proven cheater. But we're past those days now. We're in for a great championship this year. And it shows how great the weight penalty is as well, because let's talk a bit about... There we go. Risto Capit, who took pole position last time in Portugal. He didn't actually start on pole because he had a grid penalty, but he had such a strong result with 2 top 10s, including his first win of the season. We've said it before, he's the Touring Pro Series Virtual Carrera Cup champion, so he knows these cars like the back of his hand. And yet, I don't think he even qualified in the top 15, if I remember correctly. He's, of course, got 45 kilograms of weight mass. His nearest championship rival, Kevin Siggy, was in the top 10 with 36, so... Is that just one of those situations where Risto's got to get his head down in the race and hope for the best, or do you think maybe he should be doing a bit better than that?
The weight is there for a reason. It's there to not penalise, but handicap a driver who's clearly quicker than others when all the cars are equal. So Risto should. It would be bad if Risto was going into qualifying on pole, dominating and everything, because then it just showed that it wasn't really working. But I'm surprised to not see him in the top 10. He's 0.6 of a second down in qualifying. He was. So I'm surprised he'd lose that much, actually, considering how close the field is. I'd have thought it'd be probably 0.4 of a second, maybe.
Oh, Sven! Wow, Sven de Vries with the banter there.
Left the game.
Sven de Vries left the game. Very clever, Sven. Ha 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 ha.
Yes, we're just sorting out the grid at the moment. The grid's flying through. He's still here.
He is still here. Yes!
And race admin hastily switches to race right there.
And we've not had a... let's not say that, shall we? So let's have a look at that. Okay, so Risto Capit did qualify inside the top 15, sorry. He was P11.
Yes.
Let's have a look at that grid. Interesting grid to go through. Where did Riffle finish? Oh, sorry, Riffle was lower than I thought. Never mind. Right, 13 laps of racing at 13. Unlucky for some. Will it be a good day, though, for Jordan Weeks? He is Torrent Motorsport's first pole position since the German Sports Series of 2012. He is there on pole position today. Can he get his first race win since the French Sports Series of 2013? That's statistical knowledge. Eric Strana, championship rival to a lot of people last year. He's up there at the top once again. He starts P2 for Ice Cold Racing with Martin Lapassa. What a great effort from Martin again. Really starting to get into his own, less mistakes since Spain in Portugal. Maybe he can make no mistakes this time. He starts P3 for Drake. Augustin Canapino with 18 kilograms of weight ballast. He starts P4 with Wupke Hoekstra, his best qualifying in a very, very long time in the World Sports Series. He starts P5 for Racing Team Stroton. Cameron Brewster starts P6 for Walk Racing. I think he'll be very happy to out-qualify Risto for this campaign. And Kevin Siggy starts P7. He's second in the championship, 36 kilograms of weight ballast. I think that's a mighty effort from Kevin to get up that high. Robert Wiesemuller, back in the Woods car, scoring some good points as the German. He's P8. With Tobias Olsen P9 for Mazurek Racing, out-qualifying his more experienced teammate Sven de Vries. And Matthew Chergwin rounds out the top 10 for Cosmo. Risto Capit, championship leader, 45 kilograms of weight ballast. He will start P11 ahead of the two THRs. John Monroe now full-time in that seat, replacing Ross McGregor. Monroe has 9 kilograms of weight ballast. Yunt behind him was a championship contender last year, went right up until the last race. He finished second, been a little bit off the pace so far this year, but looked better. He looked much better, I should say, rather, in Portugal. Back down to the midfield, unfortunately, in P13. Jesper Nielsen, reigning champion, another bad day at the office so far. He'll start P14 for Ice Cold with Tom Parker, the man of the moment in Portugal 2 weeks ago. He's P15 for Epic. Sven de Vries, a very poor qualifying from the American, actually. P16 for Mazurek with Tomu Cabrera. P17 for CM Tech Racing. Marcos Riffel, welcome, the Brazilian, for Racing Team Stroton. He starts P18 with Lars Brugman, a disappointing 19th for the Viking Racing man. We then have Fran Lopez, P20 for Vodball Racing. Matt Richards, P21 for Cosmo. P22 goes to Ili Bracalo, triple 20 with Morten Wernerson. Welcome back, Morten. P23 for Drake there. Royce Schroten starts P24 for YDF1 Adonis. With Scott Cervic, P25 for Woods. So it looks like Woods have got a nice solid lineup there at last. Mike Bell starts P26 for Lusitania with Rob Mason, P27 for Epic. Alexander van der Wilder starts P28 for Tafor. With Stefan McCready, welcome Stefan. P29 for Viking, you'll be happy with the top 30. Victor Silva starts P30 for Lusitania with David Francic after a 10th-place grid penalty starting P31 for Triple 20. Matthew Allington, welcome back to the WSS in his own team this time. He's P32 for YDF1 Adonis with Joel Pereira making his debut for CM Tech Racing, P33. Wouters Automotive is the single car today, unfortunately. What a poor season it's been so far for Wouters. He's only... Well, yeah, the only guys who are behind him is Fabio Assunção, who makes his debut for Enterprise GP, full-time drive. He didn't qualify, and Sherwin van der Sloot, the reason why he's back there is because he himself had a 10th-place grid penalty, and he rounds out the grid. We've got 4 cars missing today. Pretty good field, if you ask me.
Yep, great field. Look at that. The leaders are already parked up on the grid, and the guy in last place was only coming around the third to last corner. So a long time for the leaders to wait. We'll see how they can handle this pressure.
There's a difficult turn 1 for sure. Very tight. There are sure to be people going wide, as there always is at Istanbul Park. But we're glad to see it back on the calendar. And we are hoping that it provides some excellent racing as the YDF1 of Stroton there gets into position. He obviously spun on the lap. But here we are now. We look to the lights. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and here in Istanbul, we are away. And it's a great start from Weeks. It's a great start from Lapasa. Strana really slow off the line, and Weeks with a great covering. Lapasa into turn 1. He's going to try and take Strana. Weeks with a great start. Strana goes wide, and is Lapasa going to try and go over the outside here? No, I think Strana's just about got it. It's a good start from Canapino as well. Brewster, Wiesemuller with a great start as well. Siggy Olsen with a good start. Kappa with a good start. Nielsen with a lightning start up to P11, but he's got plenty of cars around him as they siphon through turn 4 and 5 now. It's all very dodgy in these opening laps as I see Siggy going wide there, losing position to both Wiesemuller and Olsen. I think it might have just been Olsen actually. But Weeks with a good getaway. Strana and Lapasa in close pursuit. And Augustin Canapino, his connection is not looking too good early on. But he's starting to catch her to the back now. Brewster with a good start as well. Wiesemuller on the back of this as well. And I'm not liking Canapino's lag at all. His ping is very, very high.
Over 1,000.
Oh, we're not going to make those jokes, are we? Anyway, dynamic is turn 8. Love it every time. It's going to be putting a lot of pressure on the tyres, but the man currently trying to mount lots of pressure on the leader is Eric Strana. Weeks, he got a good getaway, but Eric has been right on the back of him now. As we head down the curved back straight round turn 11 and into their heavy braking zone of turn 12, we will arrive. Will Strana have an early peak on lap 1 here? Weeks going ultra defensive already. As we head down to turn 12 now, it's possible to go around the outside. Strana's going to attempt to do that. And he's leaving himself open to La Passa, but then it comes back in on itself. Everyone trying to filter through, and then it comes back in on itself again. Everyone going through status quo, though, as we cross the line for lap 2. It's Weeks from Strana, La Passa, Canapino, Wiesemuller, Brewster, Olsen, Siggy, Hoekstra, and Junt, who rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, what can you say? Great start there, I'd say. Great start.
As Olsen goes up the inside of Brewster, he's through into P6. Brewster breaking very early there. Wiesemuller and Olsen off track. They're going to have to watch for limits there, but overall, very clean racing from everyone, actually.
Yeah, just as I was about to say, good start by everyone. I actually went through the field and I couldn't find anyone that really, had a spin or anything that cost them much time. So, good clean start by everyone. I think that's certainly an improvement on some of the earlier rounds this season, so that's great to see. Good clean racing, everyone's just getting used to racing after the long winter once again. So, yes, Jordan Weeks still leads at the moment, but there's definitely a breakaway as the top 4 are all there, nose to tail. As looking further back, Junt is trying to go around the outside of Jesper Nielsen, coming up to turn 8 now, and Nielsen's actually dropped back, so he's actually, oh no, he hasn't, he's still outside of Junt.
Nice, I like that as, well, I'm not sure what position it is. Oh yeah, it's position 10 and 11 there. So Junt through on the inside of turn 8. Jesper Nielsen, long winter, it's summer, mate. Doesn't matter anyway. I've noticed
spring.
It's a spring. Oh, even I'm wrong. There we are. I've noticed that Cameron Brewster, after being overtaken by Tobias Olsen, he's now been overtaken by Kevin Siggy also. Siggy with 36 kilograms of weight balance. And look at this, Hoekstra now in the back of Brewster. Brewster had a very good qualifying up there in P6, but his race pace not looking too good at the moment, actually. And under all sorts of pressure from the Dutchman now, he's looking for his best result in the WSS since Monaco 2013.
Yeah, Hoekstra didn't have the best of starts. He's already dropped 4 positions, so we'll see if he can make these back up now. But he's not going to have all his own way, because look at these gaggle of cars that are right behind him as well. It's certainly starting to bunch back up again after that start. And look at that, have we got a move?
I think we've got La Passa, yeah. I think La Passa's looking up the inside of Strana. And well, Drake, have they stumbled upon a little star? He's been a little bit of a diamond in the rough so far this season, but he's really taking the fight to Strana, and what this is doing is allowing Jordan Weeks to just run away. La Passa up the inside of turn 3 here. Strana will be on the inside of turn 4 now, and he's going to keep the position, just about go ultra defensive for turn 5, but this is perfect conditions for Weeks, isn't it? The second and third place men behind them fighting away. Canapino in 4th place, not too far behind as well. Weeks just has some nice clean air in the road ahead to focus on.
Yeah, Tobias Olsen looking up the inside of Wiesemuller for 5th place here. The Mazuric driver really going at Wiesemuller right now. And they're going to have to go single file now as we come up into turn 8. And around we go, the long left-hander. It's really here where you have to be able to stick with the guy in front of you, because then you've got the key braking point into the chicane down at the end of this hill, where you can really get a good drive through what is a right-hander that actually opens out after the first left-hander, and that is where you can really make up time on the guy in front of you and set him up for the long straight and try and potentially overtake into the final complex of corners. So we'll see if anyone's close up. I'd have to say Lepsar's actually getting pretty close to Strana here. Strana's going defensive already. He's sticking more to the middle of the road though, so
that's the best line, I'd say. Pass braking very late there. Can you get him around the outside? Ooh. Very wide line, bit wide, yeah. And as I noticed, Olsen, a bit of a bump as well from Olsen. He's reeling Siggy back in here as well. Wiesemuller under all sorts of pressure, unfortunately. I noticed we've got retirements now as well. Victor Silva and Lars Brugman, our first retirements of the day. A real shame for those two. As behind, let's have a look here. Hoekstra still putting pressure on. That's a THR round. And that will be John Monroe, I think, is it?
No.
Oh, no, John Monroe's okay. Who is that? Oh, is it a CM Tech? Sorry. Yeah, it must be a CM Tech.
Cabrera, it looked like.
Yes, Cabrera. So that's a real shame for Cabrera. Just spinning around, it was yellow, orange, same thing.
At least it's not white, red, and black.
Yeah, indeed, absolutely. Talking, well, something that is bright red and blue though is the car of Robin Wiesemuller, and look at this now, Tobias Olsen right on the back of him. As I said, dragging in Kevin Siggy as well, and this could prove troublesome. Cameron Brewster not too far behind as well. He's now lost Hoekstra, trying to focus on the battle ahead, and with always Olsen likes the rear of Wiesemuller, doesn't it? I think there might be an incident here if he doesn't calm down a little.
I'm not sure whether he likes it or if he hates it. I don't know if he's trying to kiss it or punch it. I think we'll probably find out in a lap or two. Whilst we go around turn 8, Olsen's getting closer and closer. Just to update you that our championship leader, Risto Capit, is actually down in 13th now, so he's dropped a couple of positions from his starting spot. We come to the chicane here with Wiesemuller and Olsen's still behind. And look at that, they're using the curve and then a little bit more on the exit there. They come through down the straight now into this right kink. I believe that's flat out in these cars.
Of course it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the only thing it wouldn't be flat out in is if I was on a very long run. As, I would worry about that in a bit, Ben, as Olsen's on the inside of Wiesemuller here for turn 12. Mounting the curve, Wiesemuller now on the inside, and that's the trouble with trying to get past in this sector. As I say, it all folds back in on itself, so when you think you've got a good line through, it ends up not being such a good line. Apparently, you've got a wonderful position, or Bell. Go for, wow, look at this, P17. Round goes Mike Bell. This is such a close battle. John Monroe there with 9 kilograms of weight ballast, really struggling for THR. I thought he was. Francis there serving there. Fabio Asensal from the back of the grid in P20 as well. I think Werneson's in there as well. Mason. Oh, dearie me, it's a big gaggle of cars, and remember, we've got a top 15 to 20 reverse grid as well. So these are definitely positions that matter as much as the points.
Yeah, certainly, and it looked like whatever happened to Mike Bell has bunched up the guys behind him as well, because he's got Lopez, Allington, Riccardo, Richardson, Cabrera all battling away as well. So we've got big gaggles of cars. Yeah, Munro's still having to defend hard from Francis also.
Yep, back up to the front. Sorry, Olsen just looking back at his move. Lovely move. Wow, Olsen around the outside of turn 3. That was a beautiful move from the Swede. And then contact between Olsen and Wiesemuller, forced Wiesemuller wide, and that has allowed Kevin Siggy through now as well. So Wiesemuller shuffled down to P7. He's still there or thereabouts though, so that's a good job for the German to keep a cool head. Brewster, he's sort of catching up, but then again, Hoekstra starting to reel him back in. So this battle for P5 is getting juicy. A little point I want to make about Risto Capit, though, that reverse grid is going to be particularly good for him because he will not have 45 kilograms of weight ballast at the end of this race, if things stand as they are. And he is going to be in a prime position to try and get to the front as quickly as possible.
Between second and third now, Strana's left the door open. Lepasar's gone up the inside, but Strana closes the door right into the apex of the corner. Good defending by Strana right there.
Lepasar on the outside, and in the inside goes Lepasar now as well. Too tight a line. Strana holds on. Again, all helping Weeks, who now has a 2.1 second lead. 2.6 second lead even.
Yeah, so 6/10 of a second in that one lap alone. He's certainly having it all his own way at the moment. And we could be on for our 5th different winner of the season so far, which is great to see. Yeah, but look at that Strana. I'm watching him. He's really struggling on the brakes. He keeps locking up the tyre, usually the left-hand tyre, going into these corners. So he's definitely turning whilst braking at the same time and just not able to really, keep the tyres rotating. Although I have to say that Lepasar's is doing a very similar thing as well, but not into as many corners as Strana right now.
This would be Lepasar's first podium of the year, I believe, if he manages to hold it there. I mean, look at that. They've dropped Canapino like a stone now. Remember, Canapino with 18 kilograms of weight ballast, so he is being pegged back a little bit, but Lepasar doing a great job. As I said, a little rough in the first couple of rounds. They're really showing some good class here now is the Estonian. Olsen, great job from him so far up in P5. Siggy, P6. 36 kilograms of weight ballast, not really showing it so far, but he does have Wiesemuller for very close company. And I think the German's just trying to look at where Siggy's perhaps a little bit hampered by the weight and looking where he can make a move. Behind them, the battle for P8 continues with Brewster and Hoekstra still in close pursuit, and then the battle for P10 is very much on as well. Nielsen up into P10, that's a good race so far from the Dane. Under very close pressure from Sven de Vries, though. And Sven is going up the inside of turn 11. The two go side by side. A bit of contact as well. Nielsen off the track. That was a bit rude from de Vries. I'm hoping he's going to let off a bit. Yes, he is. Good man. Nielsen back through, though. Hoekstra. Oh, Hoekstra with a bit of late braking. He is not through on Brewster, though. Nielsen remains ahead of de Vries. And look at Capit there in P12. He's starting to catch up. Tom Parker as well. Junt in close pursuit. Marcos Ripple into the points. He was at the back of the grid as well. He's up into P15. So a great job from the Brazilian driver himself here. But yeah, lovely battles going up through all the field as Lapasa gets very close to Strada again. I think this is the battle to watch. The Estonian right on the rear of these Swedes.
Yeah, I was watching them. They came down to the final complex of corners, but nothing was really on there. But now Lapasa is looking around the outside of Strada here. Whoa, he's got the inside now for this next corner. Oh, but look at the braking that he has to do. He's really being careful though. That's good to see. He's not going to just dive bomb and completely take both of them potentially out the race. So good racing so far, and Strana is still defending away.
It's a really good drive from Strana so far. Weeks now 3.5 seconds up the road. It only gets better for the Englishman. We look back now to P6 and P7. Siggy v Wiesemuller v Brewster v Hoekstra, you could say. The Austrian still holding on despite the weight limit. And would you say that Wiesemuller is just biding his time a little here?
Yeah, actually I would say that because I was watching him in the last lap as well. He came into turn 7 right on the bumper of Siggy and just didn't even bother trying to make a move. He didn't poke out or anything, so I don't know if he's just waiting for a potential opportunity going into turn 12. Perhaps that's his favoured overtaking point, which he has got a good chance of doing now because he's right on the rear bumper of Siggy. And look at him gain now through the slipstream. He's certainly picking up some advantage. Siggy's gone defensive, so Wiesemuller's going to go right to the outside. He's going to keep the normal racing line into this corner. Let's see how well he can brake. Can he get the car slowed down? They're side by side.
Yeah,
contact.
I think Lapasa's got Strana. Yes, he has. Lapasa's got Strana. That was a long move. I was watching it. Lapasa got him down the inside of turn 12, and he had that speed this time to get around him, despite the third sector being such a tricky sector to get the right line around. He got that right line, and Lapasa is up into P2 ahead of Strana. Now, I think Lapasa was being held back by Strana. Could Martin, it's lap 8 to 13, 5 laps to go, or 5.5, I should say, left to go. Could he still challenge for the lead of this race, I wonder?
We'll find out at the end of this lap. I think that's the key thing. Whatever he can do on this lap, now that he's got clearer air in front of him, although he's still having to really look into rearview mirrors as well. Strana is still right there. So he's going to have to do a better lap than Weeks, and it's going to have to be a good run as well, because that's 4 seconds the difference between the top two drivers. As
Canapino! I think it's a timing glitch because he is still there. No, it's a timing glitch. He's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, we do worry about Canapino's connection. He has had that in the past before, but no, he's still in the race. Do not worry. He's still there in P4, Olsen P5, P6. And actually, I did notice Wiesemuller lost a lot of time because Bruce standing up, he had to go on the inside of the last turn at turn 14. That really hampered Wiesemuller. And Bruce there going very wide, and I think this might allow Wupke Hoekstra through for what will be P6. And he hasn't got him. He broke very early. In fact, look at Jesper Nielsen now. Up there in P... Oh, yeah, he's still P10, isn't he? So, yeah, look how close this battle is now. We've got Brewster ahead of Hoekstra, just about. Nielsen, de Vries, Capit, Parker, all in very close pursuit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what happens now, because Brewster's going to defend into turn 12, but he's surely going to be better on the brakes, as he has been all race. And yeah, once again, he just brakes so hard that he actually gets the whole corner to himself by the time he gets there. But he's going to have to defend again into turn 14. Hoekstra's going to get a good run on the outside. He's going a bit wide.
Oh, what a move.
He's done it, hasn't he?
Wupke Hoekstra, great move as well. Cameron Brewster going very ultra defensive there. Goodness me. Hoekstra with great drive out the final corner. And is Brewster going to lose that to another position here to Jesper Nielsen? Nielsen goes around the outside, and I think that's illegal. He went off track there.
We'll see what he does then, because he should give the position back, but it's going to be hard to do that with this big gaggle of cars right behind Brewster as well. Now, no, Nielsen's going to carry on, isn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at this now. Nielsen really attacking Hoekstra. Yeah, no, that was an illegal to overtake, I'm sure, unless my file or my what I'm looking at here is completely wrong. We'll need another look at it as well. Either way, Hoekstra definitely through into P8. Great move from him. Nielsen P9, Brewster P10, DeVries 11, Risto Capit there in 12th. He's with Pack. Parker 13th, and they've really dropped, haven't they? David Junt, who's now down to P15. He's been overtaken by Marcos Riffel. And do keep in mind, the guys in 16th to 20th, they're all in with a chance of a good position in race 2. Schroten, Francic, Aston Salmon, Rowan, Cervic, all there in the top 20. Actually, there's a great little scrap between Aston Salmon and Rowan going on currently. That's for another time, though, because we've still got this wonderful battle between P8 all the way down to P13 going on. Hoekstra very slow off of P10, or turn 10 there, sorry. And, Nielsen's going to try around the outside here. Flashing of lights from Cameron Brewster. I think it might have been Brewster, might not have been. Either way, Hoekstra has just lost 2 positions after getting 10, 9 and 10 horribly wrong. Oh, what's happened?
There was contact between the two, and somehow Brewster held on to it. So now they come down 2 by 2 nearly.
Oh, here comes Sven DeVries as well. Oh, Sven DeVries up into... a bit of... it's getting a bit handbags. Oh,
more contact.
Oh, fisticuffs going. Nielsen's free. Brewster's free. And DeVries is free. I think that was a bit unfortunate for Hoekstra. He's down to P11 now in the space of, 3 corners.
Yeah, coming out of turn 11, there was contact between Hoekstra and Brewster, and nearly spun him, and that really cost Hoekstra here because, look at that, he's held on. Parker now has got past Capit though, so Capit's back down into 13th.
Better for the reverse grid though, you might argue.
It certainly will be, but he needs to pick up the pace in race 2, that's for sure.
Absolutely. As, DeVries and Brewster going into combat now. DeVries around the outside of turn 4. All of the speed on the outside. The American now up into P9. Brewster down to P10.
Yeah, that's DeVries really starting to hold his own, come through. Canapino's just dropping down, but...
No, that's a timing glitch.
Timing glitch again, yep. As Parker looking up the inside of Capit, so they're still battling out here. Capit hasn't given up on this 12th position. As Parker is now on the outside for turn 8, so surely Capit's going to get it here. Yes, he does.
Hey, look at Marcus Riffel and David Junt as well.
Wait, have we lost someone else?
No, don't worry. It's definitely it's just Canapino. We have lost other drivers.
No,
Carlo's DNF'd, but Canapino's still there. Don't worry. Yeah.
Right, we'll just let it all filter out because for some reason I thought Capit was down in 13. Oh no, he would have been, yes, of course, yeah. What am I saying? Yeah, it's all sorted itself out now. Yep, that's good. So
it's all confusion here in the WSS. But yeah, look at Marcus Riffel. Is that Siggy and Olsen here? Yeah, that looked like... Oh wow, Siggy was already ahead. By the time they got to the hairpin, Olsen tried around the outside, but Siggy's held on, so Siggy up to P5.
wow, that's good job by Siggy then, as now Olsen's actually going to have a little bit of a look coming back into turn 1. No, there's nothing on there. Siggy's got the position held for the moment, but Olsen will be there to strike if Siggy messes up in any way. Just to update you on the leaders, Jordan Weeks is 4.3 seconds now ahead of Le Passer, so yeah, Weeks is still the fastest guy on track, and certainly showing that he should be the guy to win this race.
It's been an excellent job from the Englishman so far. As we head back to this wonderful battle for P9. Sven DeVries ahead of Hoekstra now, who's gotten back ahead of Brewster. Got Parker, we got Risto Capit, we got Marcus Riffel on the back of this as well now. And David Junt just hanging around as well. It's lap 11 to 13. One little instant can still see you falling down the field and out the points.
It certainly could, couldn't it? This is so close.
This is the closest we've seen it this year, for sure.
Yeah, you'd have to say Junt not having a good race in 15, but he can see P9.
Yeah.
That's how close it is. Nielsen's actually broken away from this crowd now, so good job by him, and he's actually going to be on course for his best result of the year, as I think now we've got Brewster having to defend from Parker, coming into the chicane of 10 and 11, so Parker around the outside, and Brewster holds on, so he gets the favoured line through turn 11 as well. And as they come out onto the straight now, Capit is actually closer to Parker, you'd have to say. Looking for 12th and 13th right now, but the three of them, they're all nose to tail who's going to move out, because Bruce is actually going defensive for turn 13. And Bruce has gone off.
By Brewster. That is brakes. We were saying you need good ones, and in one fell swoop, Brewster down to 15th.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on him now, see if it was a mistake or if it was brakes, see if he can...
It's a mixture of both, clearly, isn't it? It was a mistake into the braking zone, for sure.
Yeah, he looked like he actually bailed out just to make sure he didn't hit anyone that was in front of him, so that was good driving by Brewster, actually, to not cause a collision that could have ultimately ruined someone else's race. And he looks like he's got through the first couple of corners okay here on lap 12. So, yeah, it looks like Brewster should be
Hoekstra off, sorry! Hoekstra off, he's gone wide at turn 4! And very good driving to avoid the guys ahead of him. So Parker up into P10, Risto Capit up into P11, Hoekstra down to 12, unfortunately. The stakes starting to show at this very late stage of the race.
Yeah, it's after you've been battling for so long, concentrating so much, fatigue can kick in even in these shorter races as they are. Yeah, look at that Hoekstra now, just ahead of his teammate. That's interesting. And Capit's up into 11th. Parker, he's really just silently moved up, got himself into 10th place. So good job by Parker today. Just getting through the field. Looking if there's any closer battles. I can't really see one at the moment because Parker's really having to defend now from Capit.
The Estonian and our championship leader, though he won't be championship leader after this race, unfortunately. Or he might be. I've got to work out points. But yeah, Parker really starting to struggle. I think he did such a fantastic job last time in Portugal to secure his and Epic's first podium of the year. He looks to finally be at one with this flat 6 car, which he struggled with so much in the transition from the 2013 Porsche Carrera GT3s to the flat 6s. A P10 for him will be a fantastic achievement once again, as we are now on the final lap of the race. Weeks has lost time to La Passa, but perhaps that's just a safety protocol. It's 4.1 seconds to lead. La Passa now well ahead of Stranda. There's no real need to worry there. Canapino 4th, Siggy 5th, Olsen 6th, with Visamola 7th, Nielsen 8th. Though remember, he might be under investigation for an illegal overtake. So that, you know, we say he's on for his best results for the campaign. He might get pegged back if that is picked up on, and indeed, I'm trusting my eyes on that one anyway. Sven de Vries 9th, Tom Parker 10th, still under heavy pressure from Capito. Hoekstra now is back in the mix to try and provide an extra spice. Marcus Riffle not too far behind as well. He didn't come from the back of the grid, sorry. He was sort of midfield. David Junt 14th, still in close pursuit with Cameron Brewster, so there's still points changes up for grabs on this final lap. Looking throughout the field, though, it's all still status quo. I think people would just be quite happy to get to the end now, surely.
Yeah, Munro's having to defend quite a bit from Aston Cow, who actually passed into the final couple of corners last lap. And Aston Cow's actually got the position back, so he's moved up into 18th now. And this could actually be critical, of course, for the reverse pole in race 2. So Munro back down into 19th once again after all the hard work that he just put in. But I'm sure they'll battle right to the end. Yeah,
someone who is nearing the end, though, is an Englishman who said that he was just wanting a bit of fun this year. He was doing this as a favour for Torrent Motorsports. Well, here's your favour for you, Torrent. Jordan Weeks wins race 1 of the Turkish Sports Series, his first race win since the French Sports Series of 2013. Martin Lapassa with an epic effort. P2 for him, his first podium of the year. Wonderful from the Estonian. Eric Strana P3, Canapino P4, Kevin Siggy P5 despite 36 kilograms of weight ballast. Olsen P6, Wiesenmuller P7, Nielsen P8 provisionally, of course. De Vries P9, Parker P10, Capit despite 45 kilograms of weight ballast P11. A double point score for Racing Team Schroten. Hoekstra ahead of Riffle. Brewster P14, and then the reverse grid candidates are headed off by the last point scorer of David Junt. Behind them, it's Roy Stroughton for YDF1, David Francic for Triple 20, Fabio Asensal for Enterprise GP, John Monroe, disappointingly for THR with 9 kilograms of weight ballast, of course, and Scott Cervic rounding out the top 20 or retirements from this race. There are only 4 of them: Victor Silva, Lars Bruckmann, Ilya Bracalo, and Morten Wernerson.
Yeah, John Monroe had that 18th position going into the final couple of corners. He came to the final corner, turn 15, and, well, he just went wide and lost the car, lit up the tyres a little bit, and it gave Aston Cow a the opportunity really to just go up the inside and take the position. So that could be really be key, and Monroe could be kicking himself when he finds out who's in pole coming up soon.
Or they could both be kicking themselves when David Frančić gets pole position.
That's certainly a possibility.
But hey, I tell you what, I have done the maths now. Siggy takes the lead of the championship by, if my maths is correct, 6 points. It is so close up there at the top now. The championship position doesn't matter until race 1 of, or I should say qualifying of next round, which, if I'm correct, is Monaco, which is going to be a very exciting round, of course.
Wow.
But Siggy will be pleased for sure to know that he is in the championship lead. That said, though, Risto Capit in a prime position now to try and do something in race 2, because Siggy, he may be finishing 5th in this race, but that means he's got 9 kilograms for race 2. I know it's not that much, but yeah, it's still something, and it still can hamper your race.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see what those guys can do in race 2, and of course they're going to have to try and pass everyone, aren't they? And that is not going to be easy. It may come down to some contact, because things did start to really fierce and get a bit fiery towards the end of that race, and that can always carry on into race 2, especially as now we're going to have the guys that are on paper slower than the guys behind them. So it will be interesting to see what happens in race 2. Can't wait to see who gets that pole position as well, of course. But yeah, I'd have to say also congratulations to Weeks, because I didn't think he was going to win. I admit that I didn't think he would be able to hold on to it, but he did more than that. He walked away with it, really. He just drove off, and 4.6 second advantage by the end. That is a really good effort for the Torrent Motorsports driver, and it's great to see yet another winner here in 2015.
5th race winner of the year to follow up our third different pole sitter, I should say, of the year. It is looking like as good, if not a better championship. Mike Bell hoping for a top 23 reverse grid. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Must be said, actually, we had a little bit of a change in the International Touring Cup last time out. We minimised the reverse grid from 15 to 20 to 10 to 15 to try and encourage better driving, at least. I don't know about you, though, Sam. I don't know about you, but I actually prefer the 15 to 20 reverse grid. I know it can cause incidents now and again, but for those, I think it's just wonderful to know that for those guys who didn't score points, or who know they don't have the chance to score points in race 1, they can still aim for a non-points position and think, hey, we could score points in race 2 if we get shot up to the front.
I think, yes, anyone, the drivers at the back would like to be at the front for the second race.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen, because that would just be ridiculous, really. But it's hard to say, really, between a 10 to 15 switch and a 16 to 12, switch.
Oh, no, it is 15 to 20.
It is 15 to 20 switch, yeah. It's hard to really say between the two. Of course, we have 15 to 20 in Formula Challenge, and that works perfectly. I don't really see anything wrong with that. The guys that, were in the top 5 in race 1 can still come back and get top 5 and potentially even win in race 2. It's that kind of thing. You just got to battle your way through the guys that are slower than you, and you should be able to pass them anyway. So I'm not sure whether it'd actually improve the quality of driving by having it at lower amount at between 10 to 15, because I found in ITC on Monday, which I did participate in, although so far back with that default setup, it was really hard to see what was going on. But I can tell you that race 2, there was a lot of incidents in race 2, and that wasn't any reverse grid at all. That was just wherever you finished in race 1, and that was the grid set right there, and there was just a huge amount of incidents. And it really does seem to happen that after the first race, you get more incidents in the second race, because I guess people are perhaps a bit more tired, they're a bit more impatient, and they can't say, I'll just do better next race, because they don't have another next race, and it becomes a bit more critical to finish the race in a good position. And of course, not to forget, you do race 1, you get used to how the car runs, especially near the end of the race on maybe older tyres, lower fuel and everything. And then you come to race 2, you got new tyres and a full tank full of fuel, and the car is completely differently. And that's where you can make mistakes, because suddenly you are driving a significantly different car. And in a close battle in the top few positions, of course, anything can happen. So I'm going to say I don't think changing it from 10 to 15, well, from 15 to 20 to 10 to 15 really makes that much of a difference.
Well, we've got our reverse grid number, and well, it's number 15. And number 15 means that David Yunt is on pole position, and the amount of times that we had David Yunt winning from reverse grid races because he got into a high position in race 2 was quite hilarious. In fact, he is from last year the man with the most wins under his belt for 2014. Is now the time to kickstart his charge for the championship this year?
That's the best thing for him, really, isn't it? It's starting from pole. The only thing he can do now is bin it or get himself taken out. And yeah, look at that. I think he's already had a bit of fortune so far this year in Spain, hasn't he? He finished 13th in race 1 and 3rd in race 2.
Yeah, indeed.
So he certainly knows how to do it when he's at the front. And it's because, as a driver, he's good. He has good pace. And from time to time, he has very good consistency. But it does seem that he kind of struggles in qualifying, I notice sometimes, and doesn't really get as much out of the car that perhaps he could. And that kind of hampers him when it comes into the first race end, because he's battling away and having to fight his way through the field, where he could be going a lot faster if he was in a bit more cleaner air.
Indeed. And of course, P15 is the best situation for the guys up front with weight penalty, so that would be going to forget how weak La Pastrana can, Siggy, because it means they've got less cars to go through. Just having a little interesting conversation here. A couple of drivers not really happy with people going over track limits, and we noted Nielsen with a potential illegal overtake. It looks like there may be a few more issues throughout the field, so perhaps something to look out for in once the official results go up, because of course it's the unofficial results that go up on the evening, hopefully, and then reports come in, reports are checked and dealt with by the DC, stuff goes out, and of course exceeding track limits is something which the DC and the league want to eliminate, because it means that you are using more of the track than is required, and you could gain a time advantage or indeed positions through that. And it's understandable to see why you would go wide at this track. It's difficult to brake at some corners, but there's making the odd mistake, and then there's taking the mick, and we don't want people taking the mick.
No, the two corners really that I think most of these events have been occurring are, of course, turn 2 and turn 10, which are effectively the outside or runoff of turn 1 and turn 9, where you go into the both left-hand corners and then you run out to the right, and if you go too fast through the corner, you run out of track and you go off the track. But of course, because the track then turns to the right, you've then got the ideal line going through the next corner. It's one that you shouldn't be taking because it's illegal, but if everyone was allowed to run wherever they wanted to, they would do that. And I think we've seen a lot of drivers do that to date. Not all, but I have seen a few of them doing it. Some are close, so it's hard to tell, but some certainly were really trying to get away with it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here in race 2 as well.
Welcome back, Lewis McGlade, back from his trip to Swansea. Nice to know that he's back in time to watch some race 2. We might get some thoughts from him a bit later. But yeah, looking at that reverse grid of David Junt and... I mean, who was in 14th? I know that the two racing teams... Bruce... Yes, that's right. So it's going to be Junt, Bruce at the front row. And then it's going to be an all-racing team Schroten row 2 of Marcus Riffel and Wupke Hookstra. Now, you've got one multiple race winner in there. You've got one race winner in there. You've got a debutant for this evening. And you've got a guy who's got a couple of podiums and missed out on a race win on the last lap, last time out to his teammate. That sounds like a nice spicy duel to me. And Capit's behind them as well.
Don't forget Parker and De Vries
Parker
also.
and De Vries in there, yeah. Should be an interesting race too, I think.
Yeah, then we've got all the guys further back who did well in race 1.
Who do you think's going to win though, Sam?
Oh, it's a hard one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Yunt's obviously got a good chance, but what's going to happen, I believe, is if I'd say Capit, because he's got no weight penalty now, and if maybe De Vries, potentially Parker as well, if they can get through a couple of guys in front of them and be relatively close to Yunt in this second part of the race, then they could have a chance. But I'm actually going to go with Yunt. I think he's going to win it.
I'm with you on that one, sir. David Yunt for me. Fanatec Drake Racing, evidently very, very happy with their first podium of the year from Martin Lapassa. Great drive from him. We're going to hopefully have a chat with him a bit later. Definitely deserved, definitely improving all the time. Well, let's see how he does with 36 kilograms on board, shall we, as the grid forms. Yeah, look at that. Bristow Capit P5. That is an let's get those words right, James. It is an ominous sight for the rest of the field. No doubt it is an ominous sight for David Yunt of THR. He's lost Ross McGregor as a teammate, gained John Monroe as a teammate, and he's sort of been the guy to... Well, look at that. THR has only scored 1 point in this race. Not so good. David Yunt has a chance to make up for that and get his championship charge underway. He starts on pole position from Cameron Brewster, the bridesmaid so many times. Can he actually try and pick up a win for himself? The racing team Stroton boys of Riffle and Hoekstra, they are going... try and hound their opponents for a podium as much as possible. Any points for that team is good points, but look at that. Risto Capit, currently dethroned as the championship leader. He's there in P5 with no weight penalty. That's anyone who knows Capit knows that he can do incredible things. Tom Parker can also do incredible things, and with no weight penalty in P6, or with no success pass, I should say, in P6, perhaps the podium's on for him, as that is Hoekstra off the road spinning. Thankfully, he hasn't hit a wall. De Vries starts P7 with Nielsen P8. Robert Wiesenmuller starts P9, and Tobias also runs out the top 10. Then we have our success ballast candidates. We have our success ballast burdened drivers. Kevin Siggy, less than race 1. He's now got 9 kilograms, but it is still weight nonetheless. Canapino with 18, just like race 1. Drana with 27. Mass fail there. Lapassa, great effort in race 1, as we said, but now he's got to do with 36 kilograms weight ballast, and Jordan Weeks with 45. He's going to really struggle if we saw the Capit couldn't even get into the top 10 last time around. Stroton starts P16 with Francis P17. Asen Sao P18. At least it's not the back of the grid for him this time. Monroe, a disappointing 19th. What can he do from there? Cervic P20. Lopez P21. Richards P22 with Mason P23. Mike Bell P24 with Van der Wouwer P25. Cabrera P26 with Stephen McCready into the top 30 P27. Matthew Churgwin. Hey, that's someone. He was P10, Matthew Churgwin, in qualifying. He's fallen all the way down to P28. So a nightmare race for the Englishman. Hopefully he can come back this time around. Van der Sloot P29. Pereira P30. Engel 31st, Wernerson 32nd, Bracalo 33rd, Silva 34th, and Martin Palm joins us now in P35 for Torrent Motorsports, a late starter, which means that we are missing someone from last race, but we gained Palm. We're missing 2, I don't know. Mass fail. We got Palm anyway. That's the big thing.
Yep, and just a quick fact for you. Going into this round in Istanbul, Walk Racing and THR were top 2 in the Constructors' Championship, or Teams Championship. And they finished 11th, 14th, 15th and 19th in race 1.
Not too good, is it?
No, quite incredible, really.
Let's see. Oh, look at Yunt. Look at the 2 angles there from Yunt and Brewster. They're going to hit each other if they're not careful.
The Yunt doesn't want to defend, Brewster wants to attack.
Well, we've got another 13 laps to come. Will it be as good as race 1? We certainly hope so. Stroton once again has to pop back into position. He has trouble with these formation laps, doesn't he?
There, if he's doing it on purpose so he doesn't get hit. Not sure.
Right then, we look to the lights now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and here for the second time at Istanbul Park. We're racing. And Yunt, with all that experience, he gets off the line well. Brewster, as you say, instantly going aggressive. Yunt has a wide line, though, and he is straight into the lead. Marcus Riffle. Oh, look at that. Hookshire with another poor start. So Riffle up into third. Parker into P4. He's jumped Capit, and that could be crucial at this early stage of the race to hold Capit up. Hookshire down to 6th. Nielsen 7th. De Vries 8th. Olsen 9th. And Visa Muller 10th as Nielsen also gets past Hookshire into P6 as Sven de Vries now going around the outside of Hookshire into P7. I see Capit's gotten past Tom Parker. Now he's got Marcus Riffle to worry about. For Yunt and Brewster, it's all about running and running as fast as they can because they need to get away super quickly. I mean, no disrespect to Marcus Riffle, but he is new here. He's got one of the championship contenders on his rear. And he has got to be careful, and he's got to show quite a bit of respect to a man who we know is a very, very good and a very experienced driver in these cars. Flying around turn 8 now. Yunt ever extending his lead to Cameron Bruce, who's ever extending his own lead to Marcus Riffle, who is holding on rather well. He's not being flustered by Risto Capit just yet as we head into turns 9 and 10 now. I'm sure that Capit will just
Nielsen's
be
round.
waiting for Riffle to make his mistake as Nielsen is round. Nielsen is round in a real shape. Once again, the championship leader in lots of trouble. And why the F1 car's off on the grass as well. Oh, that's Schroten. And I noticed that Sven de Vries was caught up in that as well. So drama already as Marcus Riffle stays ahead of Capit. Capit's going to go to the inside. He's going to make a dive. And Riffle closes the door nicely. That's a great effort there from the Brazilian. That's what he is. He's Brazilian. But rounding the first, or the last corner, I should say, to end lap 1. Yunt leads from Brewster, Riffle, Capit, Parker, Olsen, Hookshire, Wiesemuller, Canapino, and Siggy.
Yeah, coming out of turn 11, I believe it was. No, it's turn 10, sorry. There was quite a bit of contact. Riffle really completely missed. Oh, someone else has gone round. Who's that? That's Hoekstra's gone round. Yeah. Coming out of turn 1, so he's gone round as well. So big loss for him. He's dropped down into practically the whole field's gone past him. He's down at 30th now. Yep. So yeah, there was contact between who was it?
I didn't see it, to be honest.
It was De Vries.
Parker, apparently. We're hearing from our cameraman. Either way, we have got to keep an eye on our lead. Because look at Riffle is still ahead of Capit, and surely Capit's going to be starting to worry now because he's now 2 seconds behind Yunt. I know perhaps for Risto Capit that might not be a lot, but surely you got to get the move done on Riffle quicker, or sooner rather than later, because then he's got his team up ahead of him, and with no disrespect to Brewster, I know he's going to fight for the podium, but he's not going to fight too hard. It is his teammate after all, but then you've got Parker behind, and Parker can cause further issues if he really wants to.
He certainly can. Let's have a look at Capit then. He's trying to line up Riffle. He's having a look up the inside as Yunt really locks up all the brakes going into turn 9 and 10 there. And look at this. Okay, so Capit's actually got the run on Riffle now. He's going to look to the outside of Riffle. And he's surely going to get the inside then. Riffle pushes him off the track.
He says he pushes him off. Capit was trying to find a space that wasn't there.
Riffle has erred him to the outside of the track then.
Riffle on the inside again. Very robust defence from the Brazilian. I think robust. That's a good word to use, isn't it? But nevertheless, Capit remains behind, and Parker. Yeah, look at him there. Parker. If they don't want Risto to win this race, then Parker has to do something. Either way, Yunt still leads from Brewster. But look, Brewster really isn't getting anywhere away from Riffle, as Riffle giving Capit plenty of space, isn't he? But then he just comes back in on the line, perfectly legal, defending beautifully as Brazilian.
Yeah, I think Capit has definitely got a huge speed advantage here over Riffle. He's going to look up the inside now into turn 3, and that's surely going to be the job done. No, because look at that, Riffle's held his own around the outside. He now gets the inside for turn 4.
I think Capit's got it. Yep, Capit's got it. That was a great battle, great dogfight from the two of them. Riffle comes out as the latter, unfortunately. He's now got to focus on Parker behind him. Capit been let loose. As Riffle has a little look at the inside. I think he's going to let Parker through there as well. Yeah, Parker through. So Riffle down 2 positions, unfortunately. It was a great effort for him for the most part. Is he going to look up into turn 10? No, he isn't. And his ping's gone a little bit high as well. But Capit is free. And he has now got only his teammate and David Junt between him and his second race win of the year.
Yeah, Capit is now 2.4 seconds back from Yunt, so this is really where he needs to start making some gain on the race leader. It'll be interesting to see what he can do now, because if that gap grows any more, and it's come down now to 2.2, so Capit's definitely got a chance here, because I don't think Brewster hold up his teammate too much, especially if he sees that Capit is faster, as Riffle's actually having to defend from Tobias Olsen now into the final complex of corners through turn 12. Olsen's got the inside for turn 13. He's going to put his nose there. Riffles tries to defend, gets the inside for turn 14. Olsen tries to cut back and just has to slot back in behind Riffle, so Riffle holds on to 5th place for the moment.
There's an interesting battle going on behind as well for P9. Look at this, Kevin Siggy. It's strange, isn't it? With 36 kilograms of weight ballast, he was flying, and he hasn't been able to escape the clutches of Francic, Lapassa, and Strana. Remember, Lapassa with 36 kilograms of weight ballast, and Strana himself with 27. So the Austrians struggling in race 2, but look at that, Francic, Lapassa, and Strana getting into a battle all by themselves now. Siggy has to take advantage.
Yeah, I'd say, looking at this now, Francic still on the outside of Lapassa. Lapassa's actually dropped back a bit, so Strana might have a look into turn 4. Nope, nothing on there. Look how much Francic is really hanging the rear end of that car out. He's certainly driving the wheels off it. He might actually drive the tyres off it as well.
Got to be careful. Got to be careful for sure. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Risto Capit 1.2 away from the lead. More importantly, Cameron Brewster is right on the back. Now, we saw a similar sort of situation in Portugal where Walk Racing had an opportunity to score a 1-2. You know what? I really think they have a good chance of doing it again today here. They're in the perfect position for it.
Yeah, so it must have happened to Yunt there, because he had a huge lead and it's completely gone. It's absolutely gone. So he's definitely made a mistake. And they are really close now. 1.2 separating, 1.1 now separating the top 3. Park is about another 1.3 seconds back as well, but don't count him out just yet. And it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think Bruce is going to go and try and fight Yunt first.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to let Capit through. Not when there's a race win on the cards. As Riffle's gone wide, sorry, at turn 12, and he's let Olsen through into P5, Canapino through into P6. He was lucky not to let Weissenmuller or Siggy go through. And then look at that, Lapassa's managed to get past Francic, actually. So Lapassa with a good race once again. Strana left behind, and then for your last points positions, we've got Lopez there, P13, Nielsen, P14, and Weeks is now into P15 with the 45 kilograms away, but it's just getting past Assen Sal there. But it's all very close for the final points positions. There's about 7 cars involved in that battle, and it's only lap 5 of 13, so there's still plenty of time for retirements. As I see Strana now attempting to get past Francic. Around the outsiders, Olsen has got... Canapino's got past Olsen, and Strana behind is trying to get past Francic. Francic goes wide, and Strana is up into P11 then. So Canapino up into P5, Strana through into P11.
Ooh, Capit's going on the inside of Brewster.
On the inside of Brewster. And I think, yeah, that was a letting through, unfortunately.
It was. It definitely was.
Well, that's a shame. I was hoping to see a battle. So Capit's going to win. End of.
Well, it's still a long way to go yet, and Yunt's not the worst driver in the world, so, you know, he could certainly defend. Of course, Park is back there as well, actually closing a little bit on the leaders, so we could be in for a bit of a feisty battle. But also, Canapino, he's running 18 kilograms of ballast right now, I believe he is. Yep. So he's actually doing a really, really good job to be in P5 already from P11. And we'll see if he can close the gap down between himself and the top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. Nope, just a timing glitch again from Canapino. But look, he's right under pressure from Olsen once again. Capit on the lead. He's there or thereabouts. I'm looking back at Olsen. Canapino up the inside. Canapino's just got that back. And Riffle with a little bit of a slide. Wiesenmuller and Siggy right there. But Capit is right on the back of Yunt now. I can foresee an overtake very shortly.
I certainly can. We'll see if there's one between Canapino and Olsen. Olsen looking to the outside. Canapino holding on to the inside. Gets into the corner. Does he keep on the track? Yes, he does. Good clean driving. He'll hold on to 5th, but he'll want to break away from this group now because otherwise he's just going to get caught up again and again, going down the straights where everyone else will be picking up a slipstream on him.
Absolutely, absolutely. As coming on the inside of Yunt! Oh my word! Through into turn 5 there. I thought Capit was going to T-bone Yunt at one point. Thankfully, the two stay out of contact. Yunt stays ahead. But Capit looking at the fast. It's almost like he's being caught out by how slow Yunt is at the moment. And Yunt isn't going slow.
No, but Yunt has definitely been struggling on the brakes. I've noticed ever since lap 1. He doesn't look as confident on the brakes, especially compared to Capit. So he's going to have to really defend and defend with his brakes, which he's not enjoying at the moment. Look at this. Here we go. Capit. Look at the inside again. He'll be wise just to take a good line through this chicane here, because then he can set Yunt up for the final part of the lap, which is really where all the overtaking takes place. I think also just got past Canapino once again as well, so Canapino gets it back.
Back up to the front, sorry. Capit is so on the... Yunt going ultra defensive. Look at... What's Capit trying to do? Like, there's no space there, Bristow. Come on. Anyway, Yunt, shuffles him out to the outside. A bit of contact there. Capit tries to go around the outside. Yunt is defending to save his life here. And that was on the rugged edge from both drivers, to be honest. I think Bristow getting a little bit hot and bothered under the racing helmet there now. You can see it in his driving. And it's not usual Bristow driving either. We usually see Bristow calm, cool and collected. He's really starting to lose it underneath that bonnet of his, because, you know, he's all over the place almost.
We've seen him do it before. Bahrain is a good example. Example.
Well, that's in Super Cup, of course.
Yeah, in Super Cup. In Porsche, I guess not. But why would you go on the grass when you're attacking and you've got such a wide straight? Capit knows he's better on the brakes, so he could just go around the outside of you and brake a bit later and get the inside for turn 13. That would be the thing to do. We'll see if he does it this time around on this lap. He'd be wise to do that.
I think... look at this battle here. Just quickly looking back at P7 there. Marcus Riffel under heavy pressure from Wiesemuller and Siggy. They're trying to work their way past the Brazilian, but we know he's a resilient defender and showing his stuff once again. I'm afraid we have to look back up the front. This is just too good to keep your eyes off Yunt with some of the most robust defending I have ever seen. Risto hot under the collar. I think we can count Brewster and Parker out of this one for the moment. I don't think they got the pace of these two. They're sort of sticking with them, yet not sticking with them. Yunt going ultra defensive, though. Surely a move has to be made soon. I'm also wondering, might Bristow go over the line? Is there potential for him to mess this up?
I don't know. I think it really comes down to how long it takes for him to get past Yunt, really. Because it's surely going to happen. It's going to be if. It's going to be when, not if, sorry. As he now looks to the outside, he's done the right thing this time. He's got the outside going into turn 12. He brakes late, but Yunt actually brakes very well for turn 12. Holds the apex as well, so Capit's actually got nowhere to go right now. He's going to have to slot back in and just be patient and wait another lap.
The laps do run out though, especially in WSS. It's very quick. Lap 8 of 13 here. Wiesemuller and Siggy, by the way, they've now gotten past Marcos Riffel. Wiesemuller into P7, Siggy into P8. The rest of your point scorers so far are Riffel indeed in P9, Lapasa 10th, Strana 11th, Francis 12th, Lopez up to 13, Nielsen 14th, and Weeks in that final points position in P15. But the battle we are all interested in at the moment is this one up the front here. It's a walk 2-3 at the moment. They want to make it a walk 1-2. The only man stopping them is David Yunt, who's gone very wide for turn 4. He's put it in the middle of the road for turn 5. Capit all over the back of him. He can't find a way through, though. The Swiss, he's been in this position so many times last year. He's had the luxury of running away with it most times, but he has had to get his elbows out sometime, and he's doing very well to keep the very experienced, very fast Risto Capit behind him.
He certainly is. As we go into turn 8 now, the cars do have to be quite well balanced going through this corner, because Parker did make a mistake going into turn 8 last lap. It cost him a bit of time, and he's having to really fight back to try and get back up to these lead 3, as Bruce did close in for a little bit. Capit though, look at that, he's all over the back of Yunt. When's it going to happen? Oh, he has made a mistake going into the chicane though. Both of them did actually, and Yunt's actually had a poor exit, so Capit's again going to look to the outside.
Yuns have the straight line speed, though. They go side by side through turn 11. Capit now ahead in this race. And I think Yun's going to stick it here on the inside. He's got that good line. And oh, look at that. Capit coming across. A little bit rude from the Estonian Yunt. Breaks very late into turn 12 and he takes the position back. David Yunt. I don't think I've seen him battle this well as round he goes. Oh, it was all too good to be true, wasn't it? Yunt off the podium in the space of one corner. But now Brewster and Parker are in with the chance of a race win. And as I say, I think Brewster wants this. Or
Yeah,
does he? Pulls out. Well, the top four is within a second at the moment, but that's not going to be the case for many laps longer, unfortunately.
Yep, I just double checked on that. Been there by Yunt, and yeah, he just got it all wrong by himself coming out turn 13. Capit didn't touch him at all, so you can't blame Capit for that whatsoever.
Here, there's a good battle for P9 as Marcus Riffle, the defender of the race so far, apart from David Junt, defending off Martin Lapassa into turn 4. They're all very close. Siggy Wiesemuller ahead as well. They're going at it. I'm interested in the battle for the podium now because I think Brewster second is a lot more under threat than it was in Portugal because you've got Parker and Yunt still there, still with the pace, still ready to attack.
And
you've got traffic as well.
Yeah, coming up to back is unbelievably, so I don't know what's been going on.
Off goes the Wouters of Engel. And has Capit been held up by that, I wonder? Brewster going round the exit of turn 8 now. Everyone within track limits there, I can see. It's all very close. It's all on a knife edge, really. As I said, I think Capit's got this one in the bag now.
Yeah,
the battle for second is still very much on, actually, to be fair.
I'm not quite sure what happened with Capit because I was expecting him to be well ahead of Brewster. I think he's starting to stretch his legs now, and Brewster's falling into the clutches of Parker right here because Parker's all over the back of him. He's going to look to the outside, going towards turn 12, so we'll see who can break the latest. Parker does very well on the brakes, and he's going to really come down on Brewster. But just not quite enough, and Brewster holds on second for the moment as he'll get a good line here through turn 14 as well, so Parker nowhere to go, and he retains his third position.
Behind, Siggy and Wiesemuller did exchange positions, but Wiesemuller's been able to hold on to that so far. Lapassa's up into P9 though. Marcus Riffle lost a lot of positions there. So Lapassa into P9, Strana P10, Francis P11, Riffle now down to P12. It is still points for the Brazilian on his debut though, and it would be a double point score. But look at this behind now. Monroe, Nielsen and Lopez all battling away for 30th. And oh, Monroe, round he goes. And oh, that's a shame for the Scotsman. He's had such a strong campaign so far. It's been a disaster here at Istanbul Park. Nielsen up to 13th, Lopez up to 14th, and well, Weeks was in 15th, but he's just been overtaken now by De Vries into P15, so Weeks could be struggling to score even a point in race 2.
These ballasts are really penalising the drivers here. They're really struggling to just stay within the points. Although Canapino's not doing too bad, is he? Canapino, sorry. He's only 4 seconds behind the leaders. As Brewster is now really starting to fall back from Capit. Capit is looking very strong here right now.
Someone's fax machine is going off. Meanwhile, Kevin Siggy's just overtaken Wiesemuller through turn 8. And that was a lovely move from the Austrian. Remember, with 9 kilograms on board, he's the least handicapped of the Success Ballast guys. When he is through into P7, Wiesemuller will look on the inside of T9. And oh, I think he gets it a little bit wrong there. No, but Siggy through. Good move.
Yep, Siggy's starting to move back up through the field.
Someone's fax machine is really going off, I should say.
Yeah, it sounds like a plane's flying overhead. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's been a change
Brewster,
of position.
Yep. Parker's broken late around the outside of turn 12. Tom Parker. Oh, that was a lovely move. And the walk 1-2 has been broken.
It has, once again. Walk will... Well, at the moment, they won't get their 1-2. But... Oh, I just saw a car in the background there. Parker's still having to look in his mirrors though. Can he catch Capit? I'd be surprised if he can, because Capit has looked strong in this race as Brewster goes off the track trying to hold on to the back of Parker, coming out of turn 2. And will he look to the inside of turn 3? No, he won't. So Parker holds on to second position. We'll see if he can close his 1.1 second lead that Capit has. It's not much.
No, he's not pulled away as much as I thought he was going to do, actually.
Certainly not.
He stayed within range of the guys behind him. Yeah, Parker up into second. Brewster third. Yunt. He's there or thereabouts in fourth, but he's not really making much impact. Canapino fifth. Olsen sixth. Diggy staying ahead. Oh!
Weeks, sorry, just dived up the inside of Sven De Vries, pushed them both out wide, and De Vries actually holds on to the position. If Weeks actually gave it back for this final points paying position in the race.
Oh dear me, it's all very close. Look at that. Nielsen 13th, Lopez 14th, De Vries, Weeks, Richards, and Cherguin all in there. Man, I'd want to be is Asensao, who hasn't made much progress since race or since the race start. In fact, he's gone backwards, but he's out of that battle, and he won't have to deal with any of the consequences once, or if they do get into contact, I should say. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Bruce is in the slipstream of Tom Parker. It's lap 11 of 13. We're soon to go on to the penultimate lap on the race. Would you say Bruce is eyeing the opportunity rather than looking, or rather than actually making the opportunity for himself, just so, you know, I mean, yeah, he can see that Parker, he can probably get a good exit on him. Parker staying ahead nicely for now. Capit now starting to pull away, of course. But I still think Brewster feels that he can have a chance at this P2, and I don't think he's under much pressure for P3, to be honest, because Yunt has been somewhat average since he fell off the podium.
Yeah, he stayed there for a while, did Yunt, behind Parker and Brewster, but now he's definitely starting to fall away. And Parker's gone off the track there through turn 2, hasn't he? He's certainly pushing the limits, if he has or hasn't.
Once or twice is okay.
Yeah, and I suppose it wasn't for an overtake either, so that's fine.
Parker holding on by the hairs of his chinny chin. Probably hairs elsewhere that we won't divulge into on this broadcast, of course. But that'd be the second podium for Tom Parker this season. Considering how much he didn't click with the cars in 2014, this is a huge improvement for him. I mean, he could be a genuine top 10, if maybe a threat for a top 5 contender by the end of the year if he keeps this up.
Yeah, he's just outside the top 10 coming into this round today, so this second position will do him no harm at all, that's for certain. As just watching a battle back here, I don't know if anything more important is going on, but Lopez having to defend from Jordan Weeks. Lopez has actually dropped back down into 15th now, after making quite a few positions up, considering he finished in 21st in race 1. He's now into the points paying positions. Sven De Vries is starting to move back through the field, and of course Nielsen is as well after their contact early on in the race. So
This is there as well with Richards as well.
Certainly, it's certainly one of the bigger battles on the track.
Oh, sorry, Brewster up at the front, sorry. Brewster for P2 and P3. Brewster breaks later around the outside of Parker. He goes. He's going to try and replicate the move that the Englishman pulled on him a couple of laps ago. Not the case. The only problem for Cameron now is he's only got one more lap to do it. Final lap of the race. Risto Capit goes on to now. His lead is 2.3. That's his second race win. Pretty much in the bag unless he makes a mistake. Final lap. It'll break our new winner every race record, unfortunately. Damn you, Risto. Shakes my fist in fury at you. But it's all down to Tom Parker now. Can he keep that P2?
That is a big question, because Cameron Brewster is actually looking very strong once again. He seems to go through a kind of fluctuation of not looking that great and then putting a few decent laps and then slowing up a bit, although he's been very consistent over the last 6 laps, either doing a 54.8 or a 54.9. You can't get more consistent than that, can you?
No.
That's a very good effort by Brewster, but he has fallen off the back of Parker, admittedly, a little bit here, but he'll still have the slipstream going down into turn 12, so it's certainly still on this battle for second.
Oh, certainly, of course. We head through turn 8 now. Parker, if anything, by my eye again. My eye is wobbly, don't worry. It's not good. Parker, he looks to have just pulled out a little bit. He seems to have saved something in the tank for this final lap because he's looking a lot more confident, especially through turn 8. The crucial area, though, is going to be turn 12, and especially here turn 9 and 10. Parker looks to get a lovely line through there, actually. Brewster looking a little bit slow. The final opportunity of this race for Parker to lose this position will be down to turn 12. We're rounding turn 11 now. Parker understandably goes to the middle of the road. Brewster, I think Parker's, he's confident enough to take the normal line unless he messes up the braking here. No, I think he's fine. So let's go back to the leader, shall we? He's broken our record of one winner per race, but hey, He's a champion. What can you do about it? Risto Capit takes his second win of the season. In 2 rounds as well. Tom Parker does hold on for P2. It's another double walk podium. Not the 1-2 they were hoping for, but a 1-3 will do them just fine. Cameron Brewster with his second or third podium of the year, can't just remember. Yunt, after losing the lead, looked a bit poor, unfortunately. He's stayed in P4. Augustin Canapino P5, Olsen P6, Kevin Siggy P7, Risa Muller P8, Eric Strana P9, Martin Lapassa P10, Francis 11th, Riffle 12th, Nielsen 13th, De Vries 14th, and Fran Lopez held on to that final point position for Vodball Racing. Your retirements of the race were Schroten, Van der Wilder, Cabrera, Silva, and Stephen McCready on the second to last lap.
Yeah, oh yes, for McCready, engine problems. I think he was only the one guy with an engine problem this weekend. But one guy who certainly enjoyed the engine that he was driving today was Risto Capit, because he got his second win of the season. And that'll be good for him in the championship as well, going into this round as the leader, although not into this race.
He has extended his lead overall, though, because Capit scored 30 points this race, or this round, I should say, whilst Kevin Siggy only scored 20. So that's an extension of 10 points for the championship lead.
So that's very good for Capit. Very good for walk racing as well, because picking up a 1-3, that'll certainly help in the Constructors' Championship after, well, not a great race 1 by them, but it completely turned around in race 2 for both their drivers. So I'm sure Walker will come away from this feeling very pleased indeed.
Lapassa also with a good event. I mean, we didn't see much of him in race 2, to be fair, but that was a great race 1 for sure. Vodwell will be happy. They got some good results there. Woods with more points on the board. THR, very disappointing event for THR, isn't it? They started the year so strong with McGregor and Yunt. McGregor leaves. Munro hasn't scored for the first time in this round, and Yunt only comes away with 14 points. All of a sudden, their strong lead is looking under a lot of threat, and especially from Walk Racing.
Yeah, it really is. It's not been good at all, has it, really?
No.
Not gone well for them at all. Just looking through the field, looking for another driver that really impressed. Riffle, he didn't have the best...
Riffle on debut, for scoring points in such a competitive field, is a great achievement, I think. And his defence was brilliant when considering that he was defending off Capit at one point.
Yeah, he certainly he did struggle towards the end of race 2, but yeah, he did do a good job, and he had a good job in good effort in race 1 as well, of course, finishing next to his teammate and actually beating his teammate in race 2 as well. So yeah, not bad for Riffle. I think certainly a few rough edges to sort out, but I'm sure he'll definitely improve as the season goes along as well.
Canapino with a solid event as well. Solid event for all. And overall, fantastic racing, because I don't think there was a single incident there where I thought that is completely out of order. You know, there was the odd bash, and there was the potential illegal overtakes, of course, and, you know, track cutting and whatnot, but it was clean racing, and it was great racing to watch. Welcome back to Istanbul Park, everyone.
Yeah, track that makes for some great side-by-side action, and easily one that you could have dive bombs in. There's so many braking zones, but I can't think of any dive bombs today that I've seen. Perhaps Jordan Weeks in race 2 had a little bit of a dive bomb, but I think he just locked his brakes up. But no one really suffered from it. So yeah, good racing by everyone, good clean racing. That's what we'd like to see in GPVWC, and certainly an improvement by the whole field.
Right then, we have some people for interviews. I'll just show them in now. Oh. There we go. Right then, let us start with Jordan Weeks, shall we? So you told me last time out in Portugal, I'm just doing this for fun, I'm doing this as a favour to Torrent Motorsports. Well, you've just picked up your first win since the French Sports Series back in 2013. Was this no practice weeks, or was this weeks with a bit of fire in his belly?
There's a bit of practice, but not a lot. Yeah.
Surely
hard work, well done.
I mean, surely you've got to think now, you've got great pace in this series, you're sticking up there in the top 10. Is it worth still aiming for more?
Not really, no.
No?
There's literally, for me, with Risto in the field, there's no way I could be higher up in the standings. Especially winning the championship, he's just long gone for me.
So you're just taking what you can then, I guess?
Yes.
Well, it was a fantastic effort nonetheless. Wonderful to see you back on the top step of the podium, and well done for that, Jordan.
Yay.
Yay! Talking of yay, Mr. Risto Capit, you have broken the lovely record we have of 5 drivers, or 5 different drivers winning races. That's your second of the season now. A bit more of a struggle for you, though, with 45 kilograms of success ballast in the first race.
Yeah, thank you. First, I would say to Jordan that he should not be like that. That this track he was literally faster than me. So if he just had a different attitude, then he could win the championship as well. But yeah, well, I don't assume anyone cares, but I'm very sick, so I had less practice than usual, and I felt a bit bad. But yeah, the 45 kilograms is very hard. I was in a very tight pack, and the racing was very hard. And in qualifying especially, I lost out quite a bit. I planned to be with Siggy or something, but it was okay.
It was okay. You've actually extended your lead in the championship by 10 points. Going into Monaco, many would say that being the leader of the championship there would be a massive disadvantage, especially with the 45 kilograms on your car once again. What are your hopes for Monaco? Do you think you'll be fighting for podiums, or is it get what you can take there?
Well, it depends on many things. I'm very happy that I hear that I have extended the championship lead, and I plan to do the same thing, at least play catch with the guys second and third standings in the timesheets. And well, probably in the first races, yeah, I have watched some replays and heard some stories that everything can happen. I can be P1 for the first corner, but yeah, need some luck for race 2s as well. But yeah, anything can happen, and I'm not sure how weight affects that track. I know it's very big here because all the acceleration is uphill and braking is downhill, but maybe Monaco. Then again, in Monaco, there's even more acceleration. So, but we will see. It is at least exciting. It was not too bad racing with people who are slower. Not too bad, but I was a bit. Well, it's a bit bad feeling to not pull away if you do pull away pace, but it's okay.
A win's a win, Risto, and well done on extending your championship lead and indeed getting a win.
Thank you.
Talking of another ill person, we have Mr. Tom Parker here. Now, Tom, you bemoaned these cars last year. You bemoaned these cars in the first round of the season, and now you got 2 podiums to your name, and you're ill. Like, what have you changed about yourself, or what's changed in driving the car that's given you this pace? Because it seems to have come from nowhere.
I don't know, but Turkey's my burger track as well, so yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm not complaining, but yeah.
Maybe 2 bogies cancel out each other.
Possibly, yes, but yeah. Since I've got a little bit of setup help, it was literally just one click on one part of the setup, and it changed everything. And since then, yeah, it's been not too bad race. I mean, I didn't have much practice, and like I said, I'm not feeling great today, so could have been better. But then in race 2, when I was following Risto and Cam, I was suddenly set a lap time half second better than I'd ever done in the entire thing. So I was like, oh, brilliant! Why didn't this happen earlier? But yeah, I can't complain. Second place really, and I've Lee's just let me know I've beaten Epic's best race result in GPWC again. So hooray!
You're the record scorer for Epic Racing. I'm guessing you'd quite fancy an Epic result of a top 10 by the end of the year now, because I mean, you look to have the pace to be there or thereabouts every time.
I'd hope to be top 10, yeah. I mean, I don't know where I am now. I mean, I was only 10 points off second place from last round, so I must have gained a little bit, hopefully. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, Monaco next isn't great.
No, but I mean, I guess the overall aim, surely, would be to get your second race win in WSS, because you took your first race win in Germany in 2012.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a win. I mean, I know Risto wasn't feeling great today, but I mean, I wasn't too far off his pace towards the end. I mean, last couple of laps I was battling with Cam, so trying to take him off and obviously let Risto away. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe it's just the ibuprofen I took before the race. Maybe that just boosted me.
Oh no, we got drugs involved in GPVWC. Whatever next. Anyway, run away, Parker, quickly. Good luck good job on your podium and everything.
Thank you.
As we move on swiftly then to Cameron Brewster, apparently also ill. So we've got an entirely ill podium for probably the first time in GPVWC's history. It wasn't the walk 1-2 that you were perhaps hoping for from Portugal, but another podium under your belt. You're getting a good habit once again of doing well in these reverse grid races.
Yeah, I was chuffed with qualifying. I don't quite know how I managed to pull sixth out of the bag. That kind of came from nowhere. And I was doing all right in race one, sorry. But completely missed my braking point into the hairpin and nearly obliterated Whoopkey, but thankfully missed him. I think he kind of needed a change of underwear after that. But no, then race 2, started second, just behind Dundu. Managed to get a clean start and went around in second, and then obviously Risto came up behind me, and I thought he's obviously fighting for the championship. No shame in admitting I kind of gave him the nod to go through. And then Pesky Parker came up behind me. Yeah, great fun battling with him, and I love the podium. Teammate and one of my best mates in sim racing, so yeah, absolutely loved it.
Now, Monaco is one of the tracks last year which you struggled at. It was the first time you actually made a non-score with a 20th in race 2. Are you hoping to rectify that this year? Because as far as my maths goes, you shouldn't be coming in with any weight penalty. And with the championship so close, perhaps even closer than last year, you might be fancying jumping up a couple of positions?
I think last year I was doing quite well. It's just barriers got in the way of my progress. So now I'm kind of looking forward to it, but Monaco is not one of my favourite tracks. So it's just going to be a case of seeing if I can get a double points finish. I'm not going to be looking for top 10s. I'll just be sort of going around trying to stay out the barriers and see what happens, because it's probably going to be a race of attrition.
I think it is always the case with Monaco. Well, good luck to you and congratulations on your podium once again.
Yep.
And well, I think it sort of sums it up. Monaco, it's a track that is completely unmissable for many. It is also a track which many people wish was off the calendar. It's Monaco, it's the Circuit du Monaco, barriers everywhere, usually a lot of retirements. Surprises are usually thrown up to the mix as well. I certainly don't want to be missing it, Sam. I'm hoping you'll be watching as well, surely.
Yeah, I'll be back behind the screen watching away. I'm sure Lewis will be back next time out to give his useful insight, as he always does. But yeah, Monaco is an absolutely incredible track, and it certainly throws up irregular race finishes and results. That's certainly something that you can expect from Monaco, is the unexpected. So I'll certainly be looking for that, and I think from today we have seen it once again. This championship is so close that literally anything can happen in any race, and it's certainly not a hard one to. It's not an easy one to call, and to get 2 good races out of a weekend is very hard as well. I think we've seen that in all 3 races. With the absolute variety of results, it's certainly not been like, say, some of the like Formula China Super Cup, where we've seen the likes of Strani get a good result in both races on most race days. So it certainly brings up a lot of exciting stuff. I've enjoyed commentating on this once again, and I'm sure you guys at home have enjoyed watching this as well. It's certainly a championship to stay and follow for the rest of the season, because no one can really call who's going to win it at the moment, and that's how good this championship is going to be.
It was a pleasure to have you and Ben here as well. And if you enjoyed this racing as much as us 3 here, then do make sure I'm talking to Formula Challenge to join us next week as the career ladder heads to Istanbul Park. We've got Open Series and Formula Challenge on the Tuesday. We've got the Super Cup with us 3 once again on the Wednesday. We've got the Turkish Grand Prix on the Thursday. And then the week after that, we are back to the International Touring Cup with the Finnish Touring Cup around the Botnia Ring. And, of course, 2 weeks' time on Wednesday, join us for the Monaco Sport Series. It is sure to throw up some very exciting results and some very exciting racing. So, I'd just like to take these final moments to, of course, thank my cameraman and my co-commentator for today, Ben Haxon and Sam Jones, came in when Lewis was away, so fantastic job from you both. I'm looking forward to seeing you both next week. My name's been James Kirk, and from all of us here, it's a very warm goodbye.